Hi,
Fred.
Hi, Jesse.
How's it going?
I'm okay. Why are you hiding behind that whiteboard?
I thought I'd do some short sale stats today.
And you're going to tell me how that ties in?
The board?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted a new way to start a video. Hey, it is the beginning of July 2012, and I thought it would be a good opportunity for us to talk about what happened in the market in June for short sales. And so, let me start by saying, you want to go active to sold or sold to active?
Probably sold to active.
Okay. So, I'll do it this way. In Snohomish County, 973 homes sold. I don't know how far over I can go without it getting cut off.
So that's closings in Snohomish County.
Total
Okay.
in, and then I'll put Snohomish up here. Alright. 973 homes sold in Snohomish in June last month. I should not let you see this. How do you guess? How many of those do you think are short sales?
Based on previous activity, probably 25%.
Okay, how many do you think are bank owned?
Probably about the same.
Okay. Well, surprisingly enough, and this is something I've been talking to agents about, and there's been some naysayers that didn't believe me. But there are the numbers. So in Snohomish County, we closed 973 residential and condominium units in the month of June. Of those, 18% were short sales, 18% were REO, and 64% were equity. And so we're going to go over pending and sold, or pending and active data as well. But all I want to say is that this data for short sale and REO, which we consider distressed properties, is on the decline. We've seen those numbers on the REO and short sale numbers. We've seen those as high as 36% or more. But what we're seeing, so what this means though, is that there are as many short sale closings as there are bank-owned closings,
Right.
which is an improvement. That didn't used to be the case. REOs certainly dominated the distressed market.
Well, I think some of that's fallout from the fact that we've seen a decrease in the amount of properties that are actually going to foreclosure.
Alright, so now I will do pendings, okay? Because
Alright.
this is, I think, more interesting. So in June, we had 3,091 properties go pending. That's a lot. So sales activity is really, really high.
It's a lot of contracts being written.
And I'm going to round up on this one.
I'm looking away so I can't cheat.
Alright. How much of the pending inventory is short sale, Fred?
That number is probably going to be higher. I'm going to say it's probably 40%.
So of the 3,091 total listings that went pending in the month of June, or were pending in June, 48% of those were short sales.
So it's pretty close.
And that makes sense because it takes longer to close a short sale listing than a conventional or REO listing.
Right.
And so for that reason, we're just going to have a lot of short sales in the pipeline, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're always going to have fewer actives and fewer solds,
Right.
at the start and at the end of the pipeline than are currently in the pipeline. So what's interesting is almost 50% of all pending properties right now in the MLS are short sales. What's interesting, REO is low. Bank-owned inventory is low. Only less than 10% of the pending inventory right now is bank-owned, and 42% is equity. And so when we contrast that with the closed data, we see that we closed more REO in the month of June than went pending. And what I've been saying is that REO inventory is going to continue to trend downward. Short sale inventory is going to continue to trend upward because banks are being more proactive about making sure that they resolve home as a short sale and not as a foreclosure.
Right.
And then equity sales I'm basically, because of the influx of the short sale inventory, equity sales will be in second place,
Right.
essentially. And so that's a trend that I see continuing. But let's take a look at the active data and see how that compares. And so what you have to realize is in Snohomish County right now, we have a really historically low active inventory.
Mm-hmm.
There's just not much available, and as soon as something hits the market, it's kind of sold.
Right.
And
if it's any good.
and so what's interesting is we have fewer properties went active than went pending. So we had more properties go under contract last month than actually went on the market. And
So we're continuing the trend of a shrinking inventory.
we are continuing that trend. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're getting a lot of sales that are going under contract and fewer listings coming on the market. All right, how many active listings are short sale?
Given what I've seen in my searches, I'm gonna say 35%.
Okay, this number is lower. 20% of active inventory is short sale.
Wow.
6.7% is REO and 73% is equity. So essentially, here's what I'm seeing, and this is how I interpret this data. REO inventory is on the downward trend.
Definitely.
People will talk about shadow inventory and what that means, and all I can say is that it's in the shadows, so it's hard to define, and I'm certainly not seeing it. What I'm seeing is that banks are releasing those properties pretty slowly, and so the opportunity to buy a bank-owned house is going down. Equity sales are up as far as actives. And here's how I interpret this data. The reason why this is a higher number is because these equity sellers are unrealistic about their home's value. If these were realistic values, they would be pending or sold. And so what we saw in pending inventory is it was 42.5% of the pending inventory was equity, whereas 73% of the active inventory is equity.
Right.
And so the reason why this number is higher is because these equity sellers who are trying not to short sell or whatever the case may be have an overinflated sense of value on that property, and that's why we have more equity sales in the active category. Short sales right now are a good value, and I'm seeing them going pending right away.
Definitely.
And that's why this number is lower than the almost 50% number we saw in the pending category.
Well, I know that's what we've seen with our inventory, that as soon as it's hitting the market, that we're getting offers really quickly.
Yeah, so in conclusion, all I can say is that REO, bank-owned inventory, if you're a buyer and you're thinking about buying a short sale, good for you, because the bank-owned inventory is going away. It certainly has diminished, and I think it'll play a smaller role overall in our marketplace. Short sales are moving up in dominance of our market, and so if you want to get a good value, because of equity sellers maybe overinflating their sense of value on the home, short sales right now are probably the best value on the market, based on available inventory, right? And our current market, which is short in listings for sure. So that's our market update for short sales in the month of June in Snohomish County. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.